Welcome to this Simple Business Solutions ASANA Ethics video on the single responsibility principle. Ethics help make your business process more efficient, they minimize guesswork and assumptions, and they create clear expectations from you to the person that you are asking to take action. Efficiency can only happen when all people are bought into it. If we don't all follow the rules, we end up with the death by 1,000 paper cuts, which is where small inefficiencies add up and lose us time, money, and confidence. So let's talk about the single responsibility principle and why that's important. So the single responsibility principle talks about the fact that each task should be responsible for one and only one thing. If you've got multiple pieces of a task and they all take more than a few minutes, or maybe you don't even know, they should be their separate task. This allows us to make better decisions on the tasks. It also allows us to take specific action. And we cover that in some other videos as well. If you don't follow this ethical agreement, you're creating a situation where you're convoluting the feedback that you're asking for. So you're actually saying, hey, can you do these things? And that feedback is convoluted. Let's look at an example here. So we have, I'm actually going to rename this to simply be take action on the shop, right? Some generic thing. But here, and we see this a lot, people will say that we should be changing the order page and making the color on all the buttons blue and making it accessible from search engines. Now this is a bit of an over-embellished example, but oftentimes, if you want somebody to take action on something, you'll ask, or you'll think that some things are related and you'll ask for multiple things in one. Think about it like, if you were to go try to pursue this and it took you more than a few minutes, it should be its own task. Whether it's its own tasks here, in the task list, or as subtasks like this, that'll be determined by your project manager. You can always ask, right? So you can always create the main task and say, hey, how should I handle this? But realize that when you make these separated into the individual tasks, now you have clear communication around each issue. Going back to convoluting feedback, you're asking for very specific information. And if I were to try to comment on all three of these things, the chances are that something would be dropped or not done as completely as it could be. It's really important to smart define any of these tasks. Okay, so if I say I want to make the buttons blue, currently the buttons are red and they should be, and I'm being very specific. We have a whole video on smart definitions that we can share with you, but realize that separating out the tasks also prompts that smart definition process. Here's a key where you can know if you're mixing up tasks or putting more than one in a given task. When you say and, like we have here, or words like additionally, which I'll just add underneath so that you can see them. Additionally, plus, also, anything like that, where you're calling into question something additional that should be done, that's when you break it up into a task. As a bit of an advanced topic, the question of whether it should be within a parent task like we have here or separated out into its own task is a question of, are these tasks a part of this bigger task or separated from it? And we'll be creating a video to cover that very soon here. We'll have it linked in the description below once it's made. So that's it. Make sure that each task is standalone, its own item, and keep an eye out for these words in order to make things more clear, in order to make them more effective, in order to create clear expectations for the people that you're asking to take action, in order to save you time and money. So that's it. Thanks for joining us on this ASANA ethics tutorial. If you like this video and want to get more tips and tricks to systematize and proceduralize and automate your business, be sure to subscribe to this channel or head on over to simplebusinesssolutions.org.